any kind of project. Yeah, sorry, Pratyusha.
Reading the data.
Okay.
And performing the operations and write it back.
Okay. Now let's also understand something. I'm sending a WhatsApp message, right? Now application is available. Instead of a robot, a human is trying to enter the information and it is read by some other person. Is it right?
Yeah.
Now, Murali, if I do the same thing with LinkedIn, okay, now I need to create a post. I will create some post and it will be sent to everyone. But if you observe everywhere, data is what we are trying to either create, either move, or either delete, or either update. So other than that, there is nothing else that we are doing. Even if you click a photo is a data. If you create a video is also a data or information. Is it right?
Yes.
Now understand the complete RPA process also as a software development process. Okay. Now, instead of writing code, we are trying to write or use existing activities to write some piece of activities so that there will be some result. Bot will fetch some activity, perform operations and give some output. That's the only thing that will happen in any kind. Okay, but the only thing is we will add business rules. We will also add what are the requirements, how we are changing the requirements. So these things will come in. That's what will make a difference in any kind of project. For example, a WhatsApp project will be different from LinkedIn project, but the ideal scenarios data is same. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay. Now let's also understand this way. In each and every project of yours, there will be one thing that's common, that is data. So business will give you some data. You need to understand the data and try how you can use the data and perform operations and give some result back to the user without making any issues or without breaking the bot. If you are able to do that, then that's the only thing that a user or business user wants. Okay, I'll just take one more example because I have spoken to multiple people. Hemant. Hemant, can you please unmute?
Yes, Vajra.
So Hemant, when you joined this session, prior to that, we discussed on a PDF activity.
Mhm.
Remember?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
let's try to understand what exactly you can and how we can think to automate. See, I'm not asking how you can do activities, but how you can think to automate. Now you have a PDF. So all you need to do is read the PDF. Is it right?
Yes.
So once you read the PDF, there should be some format, like there is some keyword. Once there is some keyword, next to keyword, there will be some value before the next keyword. So between those two words, you are fetching the information.
Mhm.
Is it right?
Yeah.
Now, this can be applied to any kind of requirement, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Irrespective of which is PDF, we can do it. So thank you so much. So what we are trying to do, we are trying to understand if it is a PDF or if it is not a PDF, if it is a activity, if it is not an activity, we are not working on it, but we are just saying how we can fetch and upgrade the data or update the information. Now here we have Excel as our requirement or input. So documents, UiPath, group by data, date modified selectors. So this is our calculate option. So here in this click activity, so I will also try to help you out with the object repository, but let's see if we really need to do it. But new activities or new interviews, people are asking object repository. So what are object repository activities? You can record one particular application. This is calculator. Okay. Done. Save. Okay, in this calculator, capture elements, capture all elements. So I need to just give the calculator for it. So I can just give it. So what UiPath is doing, it is trying to check all the activities that are available and it will give me the result. Like, okay, these are the activities that we have. You can use it. You can either click on it. So whatever you can do with it. But you need to know, you cannot use a button for type into activity. Is it right?
Yeah.
So button activity or role is to click. It's not to type into.
Okay.
So as a developer, you should understand what you need to do with one activity. Does that activity support whatever we are trying to do? Now here, there are 3 duplicate items that are not added. That's fine. So if you see here, these are the items like 8, 9, 5, 6, 4, all these activities. Okay, just save it. So what we have done now?
We have added application.
I cannot hear you, buddy.
By using object repository, we have created application and then captured that descriptors.
Okay, and you can also see each and every edit element, edit descriptor. Okay, so edit element. If you see this edit descriptor will also be a selector. It is trying to fetch some value and it's trying to give it nothing else. It's not doing anything else. But instead of we doing it, UiPath is already doing it for you and it's trying to give you the value or information so that you can directly use it. Okay. Now, if you go with this one, again, this one will have a different item. Like it is having 1. Okay. And if you go with 2, you will have 2. So that's how these are mapped. So all are active. These all are selectors only. But the only thing is UiPath is directly giving it for you. So if I just see, so this is one image. So I can just rename it if I want. If I want to click on CE, I can go ahead and do it. So when I start the application, what I need to do is I'll need to click on CE. So I'll just use click activity. Click. And in this, I need to allocate this one. So if I just drag and drop this one, so what will happen? Go to the item. Again, all these are new activities which we are trying to do. So it's clicking on that C. Okay. Now, see, if I add 5, can I add, if I add 5 or 6 over here, can I add or edit target element reference in edit descriptor? So what it is telling is, okay, since you have used item from the descriptor, if you are changing here, the value in descriptor also will be changed. So one thing you need to observe is, let's say that we are using main, right? Now let's try to add one more workflow, add sequence, second workflow. And we are trying to use the same thing. Like I'll just copy it and paste over there, nothing else. So here we are using 6, right? And here also we have 6. Now, if I change any value, edit target, edit descriptor. Okay. Now this will update, or I can just delete it if I change it to 5. Okay, number pad 5, confirm. So wherever the value is mapped, so this is our main target. So if we change it over here, if you observe, this also will be changed. Did you observe the change or not?
We observe.
Yes.
Okay, so it's like we are creating variable, and wherever we are referencing variable, this is getting reflected. I'll just go back and update it back. Edit descriptor. I can just use click activity. I'll just delete it and I will just use click activity. Okay, so this is one of the use for using object repository. So we are creating all the objects first, and once we have all the objects, I can use them whenever I require. And for example, all of a sudden, I need to change this particular UI to Chrome. If I change only the parent element, will the others will also be updated? Yes or no? Will the other items be updated or not? Come on, you need to reply.
Yes, it will be updated.
Okay, so there is one other thing that we need to see here. Now, if I go to calculator back, if I add only 6 over here, how can I make it dynamic? For example, in this requirement, I have 1 and I have 2. So how can I make sure that I add? Okay, let's assume that I add object repository. Where is my object repository? I have 2 items, 1, and after clicking on 1, I need to use plus. Where is this plus? We should have somewhere plus. Highlight. Yeah, this is multiply. So I can just rename it as multiply. Edit element, edit descriptor, edit element. This is multiply. Okay, and save. I can also update it. This one. This is menu. So I can create all the items that I need. So this is history. This is plus. So now I just add plus over here. Click. And then I will add 2 also. So after doing that, let's run this flow and see. Debug file. Let's see what is it doing. It's clicking on CE first. After clicking, it's clicking on 1, then plus, then 2, and that's it. And after that, there should also be equal to symbol. Okay, so let's see with this one. This is history. I will just change it so that it will not be confusing. History. This is minus. Okay, and this is divide. Save. Percentage is not required for us. Equals. Okay. Equals. So we'll also keep equals after clicking on that one. Let's click on equals, and then we need to get the value from somewhere. Okay, not this one. Not this one. So we don't have that particular item. So let's see if we can add it. Add. This is result screen. Okay, I'm indicating the element. So this is my result screen. Okay. And target display is I can just add now. Can you see the 2 is available over here? Display value.
Yeah.
Okay. So now is this a static selector or a dynamic selector? So what is the difference between static and dynamic? Now we are coming into static and dynamic values.
Static
So
means it's fixed.
yeah, So one more thing, let's try to change it and let's add 6 here, 2, 6. So will this still be selected or will this still be a valid selector?
No,
Why?
um, because it is static. Like we have to mention that number.
Because it is selecting only 2. If it is anything else, it will not do it. So
Right.
there are 2 things that we can take out. Yeah, just change it. I will, so let's first update this one and I will change. So here, if I want to accept anything, there are 2 items that we have. We have 2, right? If we want to ignore one item, I can keep question mark. Okay, question mark will ignore one item. Now, is it getting selected?
Yes.
But
Yes.
if I add 269 to it, now will it select again?
No.
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 Why?
Only one question mark replaces only one tag,
Exactly.
one number.
Now, for this usage, for example, let's say that anything after 2 should be selected. It should be a question mark. Okay. Validate. Now, is it selecting?
Yes.
You mean star?
Yes.
Yeah. So now let's go ahead and change this one. Let's pause it and let's see it. So now it is 2. Okay. Now, why is it not selecting, able to select? Why is it throwing an error?
It's not starting
There
with
is
2.
no 2.
Exactly. Now, if it is trying to get a value that starts with 2. Okay. Now, if I remove the 2, now the values display is star. It can accept anything in that particular item. Okay. So a quick question. How many types of wildcards do we have?
2 types.
Two.
What are they?
Asterisk and
Question
question mark.
mark and asterisk.
Not hashtag, question mark. Yeah, star. Okay. Hashtag is that's fine. So now here we are going to do something else. What if I want to, for example, let's click on this particular item. I'll just delete it. I'll select 5 over here. Okay. Now can you see that 5 is getting updated and we are able to validate it? If you observe properly, if we remove the name over here, okay, and if we add 6 to it, will this work?
No.
It will work. So we are giving a proper selector and that selector is available. If you just add star to it, then this will have a problem. It is selecting the first item. It don't know which item to select. But if I give specifically go to number 7, it will go ahead and select number 7. If I just go ahead and do left 4, it will select an item called 4. Let's say that I have a number called A. Let's assume that I don't have it, but let's assume. So will this work?
Yeah.
It's not working. Could not find any matches.
Maybe it's because we gave it as A.
No, there is no match. That's what it's telling. If there is match, then it will show it.
Yeah, yeah. Huh.
Okay. 0, select. Okay. Now this is strict selector. Now coming back to fuzzy selector. Let's see. Okay. Strict selector we are doing 0, but we can also use fuzzy selector. So what is the difference between fuzzy selector? Now here we have name as 5. Okay. Now the full text is 5 over here. So if I just change it to 555 or 55, let's see accuracy. Could not find any active elements. but it tried to map some value, or else I can just say this is the automation ID file, full text value it's taking, ignore text. So it's not, it's ignoring the text. So this is the value that it has, automation ID. Now let's go ahead and try to add 6 to it. Let's see, 6. Okay, I'm reducing the accuracy. Why is it selecting? Why is it able to select 6 instead, though we have 5 over here? Can anyone tell? So what fuzzy selector will do is it will use accuracy. If you increase accuracy, then again, this will not work. Okay, if the accuracy is 100%, there is no button with number 5 and full text is 6. But if you reduce the accuracy, then it's matching. Okay, it's 90% matching or 0.9% matching, 0.93% matching. But if you take it to 100%, so a fuzzy selector will be a full selector if it is if it is at an accuracy of 1. So there is no use of using a fuzzy selector. It will just take on basis of accuracy. It can be matched like 90% or it can be matched like 80%. If it is matching, then go ahead and click on that item. But the problem that we will have with fuzzy selectors is if we don't know which button it should click correctly, then it can click on any button. Is it right or not?
Yeah.
Understand it again. If I don't know whom to talk, I will talk to anyone. Please go on mute. Okay. So, but if I know whom I should talk and whom I should communicate with, I will talk only to that specific person and I can get it done. So normally in organizations, there will be a very rare case when we use fuzzy selector. We will go mostly with strict selectors. We'll know what item we should do. We know what item we should click. Okay. Sounds clear? Is it okay for everyone?
Okay. Okay, Vajrang.
Now, there is two things now we have covered. First one is wild characters, and the second one is what is the second one? And the second one is fuzzy selectors. Now, let's assume that we will need that value will be changed. Okay, so we can also create variables in the selectors. So something like this, number or first number. I can just create Control K, or I can just use first number str first number confirm. So num first number validate highlight. Let's go ahead and click on confirm, or I can just use this one cancel. I can delete it and I can add 0 to it first. So how can I add this particular item? So this is a button. Sorry, we started with the screen, but we came up with button. Edit descriptor. Let's go with screen first. This one, let's try to delete it and try to get this one. This is the result value. Displays whatever the value that's coming in, it can be a result. So star. So do you understand why are we going with star over here?
Yes.
Edit descriptor. Let's also update it only as a full selector, not a fuzzy selector value or image. Confirm. Now I need to get a value, get text. So after using get text, I will use result screen. I will keep it on over here. Control K, str result. So this is the naming convention that we use. Single selector value, fuzzy selector, and click equal to. and getting the value. So let's see, let's write a log message and see. Log message, and I will click on warning. So str result. Let's debug this one. Let's see. Okay, now we have covered altogether fuzzy selector, strict selector, dynamic selector, and we will also add variables in the selectors. Just let's wait. The last two.
Vajrang, one query.
Mhm.
Actually in strict selector, no, we don't have this um, like we used in fuzzy selector, right? If we use in the place of numbers, we use decimals. Okay, in fuzzy selectors, there is an option called accuracy, right? If
Yeah.
I select a 5.9,
Yeah.
okay, and the accuracy is if I set to 90%, it is near to 6, right? So it will select, right? In the so,
No,
but
it will not work. It will not work like that. So the accuracy will be based on the characters. So 5.6778. So if you have static value for this, 8 can be a fuzzy item over here. Like it can be matched, like we can match around 90% of it. So 90% of this particular string is matching. It's not rounded off, or it will not do any calculations.
okay.
Okay.
So
So we
it
are
won't
checking.
take the next number. It won't take the.
No. So
Oh,
if we are taking fuzzy selector, so this will be matched 5.67, 5.67. Like if we are having this 5 as a separate item, then see, three characters are already matching. It's checking with the characters, number of characters. It's not the value it's checking for.
okay.
Okay. So here, let's go. So what is the result that we got? Output. And the output is 4. It tried to click on 2 plus 2 and it got 4. I'm just wondering why it's clicking 2 times. Did we add 2 multiple times? We are adding 1 over here, right? Edit target, edit descriptor. So it's clicking on 1. Cancel. Let's try to do it again. Run file. Okay, sorry. I used second file to run it. So stop it. Stop main. So we are having, okay, second file only. Okay, let's go ahead and debug file. So first it's clicking on CE. Then after clicking on CE, it should click on 1. 1 it's clicking. And plus, and then 2. And then equals. So the result is 3. Now I have a problem over here. The problem is simple. Here, if I use one click with this particular item, if I need to add a dynamic value over here, how can I do that? I can't add all the activities, right? I cannot add one. If I find one, okay, go ahead and click on one. If I find 2, go ahead and click on 2. I cannot do all those things, right? How can I do it? So instead of
Multiple
using
clicks.
multiple items, so if I need to, for example, if I need to add click 12, so I need to use click 1 and click 2. Okay, let's assume. So how many items should I use like this? I cannot do it, right? I can do something like this. So instead of using these buttons, I will use a generic item. Like I will use a click activity. I will just add a click. And in this click, indicate on one element. So this is 1. I will just remove this name 1. And I will just add a variable here. For now, let's keep it. I will remove fuzzy selector and image. Those are not required. Strict selector is what we are looking for. And confirm. Okay, so this is clicking on one, but the ideal scenario is it should go into this particular target. Edit, it's not fuzzy selector. This is strict selector. Okay, Now here, if you see here, this is num1. But instead of num1, let's create a variable. Control K, str, first number. Okay. Now, if I just add or change the value over here, first number is string, right? Now, if I just click on 5, we selected 1 actually, is it right?
Yeah.
Edit selector. Now see which one is it selecting. It is changing it to 5. So depending upon this particular number, it will click on whatever value it can fetch. But we know clearly, like num5 button will only be this one. Num9 button will only be this one. So as a developer, you should understand the application properly, how that is built. Now in the same way, let's go ahead and give it in the next place. Okay, this particular item. And let's also give it in this particular value. So we'll have, this is click. I will change it to F2. Click first number. Click operand. Function F2. Click operand. And the next one is click second number. Okay. Now we are using one click activity, but dynamically we are changing the values. So here is the first number. Let's change this operand value as well. Let's create some variable str operand. So if we are giving str operand as star, will it click on star? Yes or no?
Yes, it will click on star.
Because we know clearly that button we have a something called star. Edit selector, edit target. It is not getting. So let's click on. This is again first number. Let's go ahead and change this one. Operand, edit selector, properties, strip selector, targeting methods, and then where is the selector? Targeting methods, strip selector. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay. Now this is not first number. Now this is what? Operand. This is str operand. Confirm, validate, highlight. It is selecting 0. Let's open it in descriptor and let's see why is it doing something like that. Operand, edit target. Let's remove this one. Let's use into. Okay, this is the problem. We have multiply button. That is a different option over here. Okay, now we cannot use into as the value because it's not giving us an option, but let's see how we can use UI Explorer for it. Now, whatever you have seen is descriptor. Now we are trying to use UI Explorer. So this is completely different. In this, can we see something called crossmark? Do we find anywhere crossmark? No, right?
No.
No. So this is a place where we can do some magic with variables. So this is my button, but I know that this will be changed if we add something like this. So this is multiply button. So this is add button. Let's validate or addition. So I'm just giving a guess over here. Validate. It's not validate. Let's try to understand plus. So I think it will be sum. It will be plus button. It's not addition. This is plus button. And we will also see with minus button. This is minus button. And this is divide button. Validate. So based on these values, we are able to change it. Is it right? If we change the automation ID for plus, we need to give plus button. So how can we map it? Can anyone tell me how can we do that? Based on the
in the Excel, we need to review the online.
yes, you can try that. Okay, let's first go with the Excel so that it will be easy for us. And this is plus, minus, multiply. Okay, divide and then plus again. Save it and then close. So operand, if we are going with this one, so operand if we just give plus. Okay, now in this automation ID, let's give and see edit target and let's see the value. Is this coming correctly now? No,
Yes.
it's not coming. It is going with divide. So what we need to do is we need to update this button and we need to add a variable to here. Use a variable operand. By default, it is plus confirm. Highlight. Now this is coming in correctly. Based upon this operand, it is coming in correctly. Override default value. If I just use minus, confirm, highlight, done. So if I change this minus value to divide, button, confirm, highlight. So I can change based on this operand now. Okay. Now let's go back to the second number. And I think we can go with second number as the first number. But the only thing we need to see is this should be in the properties. The selector should be what instead of first number?
Second number variable.
Exactly. So there is no second number, we'll create it. Control K, str, second number. Control A, Control C, confirm, validate. There is nothing called second number. Let's create a variable first. I think we already have it. Why the hell didn't we get it? Delete second number. Let's see. Second number, the value is second number and it will be 6. Edit target. Now it's getting 6. So if I change this value to 9, it will go with 9. Okay. So we are able to update or use CE, first number, operand, second number, and equals. And the result screen and this value. So let's go ahead and try to run this application. Let's see what we are getting. Now here, see, this is not calculator automation. Remember that we are trying to understand the selectors. It will be the same activity for browsers as well. You need to understand the application first. Equal to giving 9, 1, and then end. So it is both values are giving as 9. So let's just verify if it is really 9 or not. Variables. This is 9. Well, where is the first number? I think the problem came in str. It actually renamed first number. Okay. And let's give the value over here. CE first number, properties. Click on fuzzy selector, not fuzzy selector, strict selector. And this is not the first number. This is the second number. So this is the first number. And the next value is second number. So this is second properties. Strict selector. So here we are going with second value. Now let's go ahead and run it again. Variable 1 should be, first number should be 8. And this is plus button, debug file. So we are able to close in 3 minutes with the meeting. But did you understand what we are trying to do?
Yes, Vajra.
Yes. Yes.
Clear?
Yeah.
I use
Vajra.
calculator because in calculator we have definite selectors. We should identify those in our regular applications as well. Yeah, tell me please.
In operand, we have used only plus, right?
Correct.
So by using concatenation, can't we use 2 to 3 operands like plus, minus, and all?
No, because you will not have something called plus minus button. There will be only plus button or minus button or multiply button or divide button.
Okay, we need to pass only one.
Exactly. If there is a button, something like that, then you can pass. If there is no button, how can you pass?
Okay.
Okay.
And I
So-
mean, through anchors, we can use the priority, right? The priority 1 and priority 2. If I keep anchor on plus, and if I want to use anchor on minus, first it will execute plus, and after that it will execute minus.
No, the target element is what it will execute. It's not anchor.
Okay.
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 Yeah. So I will also use, so since we added up one activity, let's try to dynamically update it. So let's use a read range or Excel scope. Okay. And we will use Excel file. I think we can use this one. Okay. Use Excel as reference formatting. I really don't use this normally. Let's try calculate reference as Excel, save changes. Okay. Read Excel, read range, and the range is empty values. Save to use sheet. I think there should be something called sheet. This actually created. Sorry, man. I will try to use something that I already know. This is
Vajra,
yeah.
yeah, in that sheet we can click on right button. We can choose the sheet from there.
For now, I'm just going with this buddy. Okay, so here calculate option we have, and the sheet name is sheet 1. Okay, and I will use a for each loop. Okay, and maybe I can also do something like this for each data row. For each data row in data table. Okay, now this is my data table, and we go with properties. Control K input. And this is my input. Let's change this one. This is my DT input table. And we have current row. Now in this current row, let's try to use this particular value. And we'll paste it. So all my calculator goes in here. So here, let's assign something. This assign value or assign multiple. I can assign multiple. Assign multiple. So this one, I will just give first number, add str operand, add str second number. Okay, and I will get the values like this. Current row of 0. This is 0th column dot toString. Okay, so current row of this operand is in the second index and the second value in the first index. So do you know what are these indexes?
Yeah.
So for each row that we have, so this is at the 0th index, this is at the first index, and this is at the second index. 0, 1, 2, and I need to write it D. Close. Okay. Now once I add this value, here I just sent over these values. So let's remove the variables. Delete. Okay, I think I just deleted a second operand, second number. Yeah. Delete this one. delete this one, delete this one, save it. First, second, and third, click on next equal to button and get the result. But we need to also write the result back, right?
Yeah.
Right cell. I'm using right cell to write it back. And the data will be Excel workbook. We are using the same Excel. And sheet name is sheet 1. And if you observe, like this is a bit of calculation, that's it. Properties. So we are starting with 0, control K, int index. So this is my index. So at 0th index, if I want to write, it will always be control shift T. See, if I want to write over here, what is the cell value?
D2.
D2. If I want to write over here, what is this?
D3.
If I want to go with the last item, this is?
D6.
But the indexes will start from 0, right?
Yes.
So now just observe. So if I add 0 plus 2, will I get D2 or not?
Yes.
So if we add 2 for every row with the index, I will get where I need to write. Okay, so now let's go ahead and try to get it back and see this value. So I need to write a D. In this D, I just write index int index plus 2 dot to. Okay, D plus index plus 2. So if it is 0, 0 plus 2 is 2. If it is 1, 1 plus 2 is 3. So it will write in D3. And the result will be str result. Okay, let's run this flow and then let's see debug file. So I think we completed 5 extra 4 minutes, but yeah. So it's open, I guess. What is it? Is being used by other process? Yeah. So let's close this one. Close this one and retry. So this is the place where we can retry. Click to equal to and then get the result. Click on CE. Again start 2 minus. So now with simple 3 activities, we are able to complete whatever we are required to do. Is it right?
Yes.
Now, can you tell me something? Why should you use object repository if we are not using it?
If user interface has changed, we can.
Okay, the ideal scenario is, see, if this minus button must be used at 10 different places and minus now minus will change to minus symbol and button, like how the numbers are available. This will not change, right? Like if we have minus button at multiple instances, if we change it at one place, then it's fine. So the other example is if we need to click on this equal to button, this equal to button in future, if it is changed to symbol, now I can just drag and drop this equal to button, right? This is not dynamic. The button is not dynamic. This is static value. But if we need to use it at multiple places, then we need to go with object repository. So there is no use in creating all these extra values. I can just go ahead and delete them. Okay, so all I need is the CE and these values. I can also delete these buttons as well because these are changing. But history you require because in the future, if history changes, then I can use this button itself. So object repository must be used if we know that it is static value and that static button or static object must be used across different workflows. Only then this will be useful. Okay. Understood? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
So let's see the item here. Did you see the results? Is it getting updated properly? 5 plus 6, 11. 4 divided by 5, 0.8. 3 4s are 12. 2 minus 3 is minus 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So all the results are correct, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this is, so let's see, go back and see what we have done. Static selector will be fixed selector. Dynamic can add variables and make selectors a single item or a single selector to be updated differently. While characters are question mark and star. This while character replaces 0 or more, and this replaces 0 or 1. One character. It's on characters. Okay. Now a descriptor. So if you have seen, we used anchor and selector together. So both are called as descriptors. So even for anchor, we have a selector. Even for target element, we have a selector, but both are called as descriptors. Okay. Full selectors will contain parent along with target element. Partial selector will have details only about target. Okay, so this is completed and let's go with this one. Step into step over. I think while working on projects, we can do it, but step into, let's try to explain. If I use debug, step into will go with one step at a time. Okay, I have rearranged. It will wait at this step. If I go into step into, it will go into this particular step. If I go into step into, it will go into this particular step. Again, it will go at one step at a time. It will go into the workflow. Now here, there is something you need to observe. If you go with step over. Okay, now if I just click on step over. So all the activities that are inside this particular item will be continuously executed. It will not wait. So can you see the difference? Step into is going inside it. So I use step over for loop. So that is the reason it is completing all the activities inside it and it is coming back. It will come back. And there are 5 items. Let's see. Now tell me one thing, were you able to understand and follow or is it fast again? Hemant, last time you said that it's fast. Now, were you able to understand this meeting? Hemant, you're there still or not? I think Hemant left. Okay. See, guys, stay in the call even if you don't understand, because I will try to explain you something in a different way if you don't understand. Okay. So if you see here, step over completed all the activities and came back. If I use step over again, it will go and get the next item, but let's go with step out. Step out will actually move outside the current sequence. Step out, so it's going back. Okay, so that is the difference between step into and step over. Now, how you can know which one to use what? If I need to go inside workflow one step at a time, then use step into. If I just want to continue all the activities and come back and stop over the here, then go with step over. Step out, just move out of this particular sequence. Okay, if I click on step over here, it will complete all the activities in this particular workflow and it will go back, and after going to this step, it will stop. Understood? Yes, no?
Yeah, Vajra.
One step in, into, step out, moves out, then stop. Step over, completes inside activities, and stop. Retry we also tried, like we used Excel, and if that's failed, retry current activity. Meanwhile, while working on the projects, we'll see with breakpoints and focus. Okay, so can we close this session for today, day 3?
Yes, Vajra.
Yes.
Were you able to understand? Yes, no?
Yes, yes.
Yes, Vajra.
Is it too much to